All right, that's set. So now we'll call the meeting to order. This is April 13th, 2021, calling it to order at 12:33 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. You're going to see the agenda and all the reports. So hold for just 1 second. Okay. Following the agenda, let's see. If you would hold for just a second, Joshua says. If you could spotlight. What do you mind if I co-host and then you can manage it? Yeah, that'd be great. Let me do that. Joshua, I just let you know that I've turned co-host authorization over to you now. Okay. So again, what I was just saying, that we started at 12:33. We'll proceed with the meeting. Come to order. All right. So we've also have a quorum. I'm sharing my screen, showing the agenda. So hopefully we have time to do a little review here. We're going to go ahead with approval of the minutes from the last meeting, which was March 9th, 2021. I'll show the minutes just real quickly and run through them, and just let me know if there are any corrections or edits, or we can go ahead and approve those. Okay, so those are the minutes from our last meeting, March 9th. Does anyone have any recommendations for corrections or edits? Or are they good for approval? Okay. Joshua recommends approval for the minutes. Do I have anyone to second? We have 3 seconds. Who shall I pick? I'll pick JV this time. Yeah, great. Thank you all. Okay, we've approved the minutes. We're done with that portion. We're going to move on then to the report from the chair, which I'll be sharing that. Nikki wanted to share with everyone just a little bit of information. Let's see. In about a month from now, really, when we have the next Board of Trustees meeting, they will get together for a week. And they'll end with graduation. That'll be on the 13th. And then we're going to have the opportunity to be involved with that and share our reports from our activities thus far since the last time that the board got together in February. And next then, GSC will be represented with a 5-day division of diversity and inclusion training. And when that is finished after the 5 days, the next thing that we will have it will be a continued discussion. We have the training. Now we are recognizing what more there is that's missing for us, what more we need to learn, and what we can do now while we're continuing to learn. So that is our next step related to that group. Every month we're having a meeting with President Cordano, and the previous month's meetings, we've been talking with President Cordano, and we'll be talking with her next week. And we're also having the university council meetings, and that's when all the representatives from the various managing organizations, the board of trustees, president's office, and GSC, faculty, FOCC, I believe, so forth and so on, GSA, GSBC, so forth, all of them get together, even the alumni organizations, all different representatives will be there to share and have conversation as we help, progress with Gallaudet University. So we'll be an agenda for the meeting next week. It's open to the public, so feel free if you'd like to join in and watch. Summer Steering Committee for 2021 is going to be on Fridays. It's going to get us ready for what this new year is going to look like. We're having 2 summer sessions now. Instead of those 3 weeks and then 3 weeks, there's going to be 5 weeks for each. It's going to be a new experience for all of us as we go through that. And we haven't been updated yet. It's going to all be virtual. And then with the second session, it's going to be a mix of virtual and in person. So yeah, they're working all those details out with the logistics, including service that will be provided, the programs that will be provided, and then who will be represented there at that time during those 5 weeks. And all that information will be coming soon. It will lead to a larger discussion of how it is that we will continue have a safe space at Gallaudet and what that's going to look like. That's a continued conversation, as I said. The next that we have is our updates of our current year budget, which is a total of $17,500. And we'll be providing a breakdown of how we've spent that money so far and how that money has been used. We'll also be submitting something similar for the budget for fiscal year 22, which is next year's fiscal year, and it will be submitted this week. And the last thing is, if you have any questions or thoughts, you can contact GSC and you can click through a form that's available. The link is available there. If you have any ideas or concerns or whatever it may be, it's up to you what you'd like to share. The chair will see your submission and then follow up from there. Okay, so that is the chair report. The next, we'll go to the rest of the committee and their reports. I'll call on Joshua, Chair of Elections.
Governance and elections.
Okay, hello everyone. Before I start, we have all these nominations. Maybe if you haven't seen the GIF related to that in the election email, you go ahead and look at it. It's a GIF that I made. Yeah. Okay. So an update on the elections. So we sent it out first. It's open for nominations in that time period. That was very successful. We did 2 different methods, one by email and also another. The responses from people, however, with nominations was pretty small. I'm a little bit concerned about that. So trying to pull more in at this point. So if you feel that you'd like to be included, you can nominate yourself. There's a lot of people here at Gallaudet who have the ability, and you would recommend them as well. So speaking of numbers and how many we sent out to, got a list from HR who are considered staff and who are part of GSC. And so that number is 565. And we have that list right there. It's not all inclusive, but many GSC chairs for the election are in that one column. There are 3 and 3 columns, so they have those. The first 3, the second one, there's 3 that are available. 3, 0, 3 means 0 of 1 means that they're not available and not being elected. But if you see the big gap is AA and COO, those are big. And that's where we have a large need for nominations are in those categories. So if you see those numbers of staff for AA, there's a lot of numbers under AA. So there's plenty of staff to recommend for those. So please, if you would, make nominations for those. Yes, Andy. Oh, let me see. I think I am. Yes, I am spotlighted. Let me see. Let me see yours. Oh. Let me check here. Oh yeah, I'm spotlighted. We have some updates with Zoom so that you can have more than one spotlight. So there's a few problems left. So anyway, thank you for that. Okay, yeah. We'll move on down. There's enough with that. All right, Vice Chair. That's your chair. That's available for election. So any of those 500 and the number of staff we have available, anyone can be nominated for Vice Chair. Yep. Comments there. Okay. Just a reminder, this it's still open for nominations and it will be closing this Monday, April 19th at noon. Maybe, so that's 1 week that's left almost. So there's still time, if you're thinking that you'll do it, just go ahead and get it, complete it. If you want more information about the timeline, that can be found there in these links that are on this document. There's also links that are in the email and it's posted there as well. So how many we've received so far to answer that question, just to clarify, yes, the nominations of staff. I can recommend another staff person that would work on that specific position. can still be nominated even if I'm not a part of that division. That's been some of the confusion that's been going around and some of the phrasing of our email in the past that with the nomination form. I just want to make sure that that's very clear, that you can nominate anyone in any division for their division. Okay. If you're not sure what division an individual works for, you can either contact that person and ask, or you can type up, and if what's wrong, we'll follow up and check into it and ask what your intention was and clean up anything that may need to be cleaned up from there. Okay, moving down again, if you haven't nominated anyone, go ahead and do so. Moving down a little bit further, is that all for my report? Yeah, looks like that's all. Okay, that's the end of my report. Thank you. And I will spotlight you again. All right. Am I spotlighted again? Awesome. So next, the next report is from staff development. We have someone else joining us. Just if we could wait a minute and change the spotlight. Joe, are you ready? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My report is for staff, committee, development staff and committee. And then we have a few events and workshops that are happening right now in May. And the first one is for tomorrow. We're going to be facilitating that April 14th, and that is tomorrow. And then the next one is April 27th, called Working Out at Your Desk. It's like the one we just had. This is the second one. It was really cool. I think you should join it. I enjoyed it very much. Join that workout session at your desk.
Anytime you're ready.
Sure, go ahead.
So that'll be Stefan Healy who will be facilitating that one. And then next we have, that will be April 27th. And that will, I'm sorry, April 28th. And that is ASL Connect. And that'll be Justin Perez. So that workshop is really focusing on the visual communication. The 3D lecture series is really about how to move everything together and have that visual connection. So I'm really fascinated when it comes to this one. So registration is through MyGU. Take a look at the website and you can look and see how you can register there. So then the next one that we have is May 3rd, 10th, 18th, and 24th. And that will be performance management. And this is a training that we all are taking, and this is a pretty intense training. And that is also through MyGU for registration purposes. And there's more information that's there. It'll give you some in-depth information. And so if you have any questions, you can reach out to them. And there are 4 sessions that'll be offered in May. So, if you guys want to take a look at things and you see that there's an interesting lecture, or if anybody's interested in facilitating a workshop or anything, you know what, please do me a favor and get in touch with us. We're more than willing to provide any support that you need in order to facilitate anything. So that concludes for my report. All right, thank you, Debbie. And next report we have is Staff Welfare and Advocacy Committee. And let me see that. Let me see, Jared Evans, is he here? No, actually, I don't believe he's here yet. Okay, that's fine, not an issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and share a report on his behalf. So as we've previously mentioned in the previous meeting, last month's meeting, we're trying to look at ways to provide affordable housing for Gallaudet staff and employees. And so Jared Evans is the chair of that committee. And so they are getting together. There are other individuals who are also on that committee. And so we're looking at possible resources that are available, which resources are missing, where we need to check in a little bit deeper and see what's going on. So as soon as they get back to us, they'll be providing the findings of what they have done with their research. So Jared is the representative for GSC for data management group. And so I want to share that so far we will be having the opportunity to speak on behalf of our preferred name in terms of the Gallaudet account and everything. And so we're looking to identify giving that a specific name, and we're looking at what the preferred names are. So that's pretty much the driving force behind that change. So it's a pretty brief report, and there's not a whole lot. So hopefully Jared will join us later, so in case anybody has any questions or to be able to expand upon the report. So next is our large participation university-wide functions that we have going on. The at-large members. So we have the academic affairs management team. So they meet the last week of every month. However, last week was spring break, so they postponed it until today. So there is no report to provide at the moment. So I'm going to call Jacqueline. Hi, everyone. Can everybody see me? Okay, I'm using my iPad at the moment. So yesterday was a pretty brief meeting. And so most of the faculty and staff were discussing the new program and the new changes. So there's been a lot of changes to the curriculum, and the CGE has a very long report. And so if it is approved, it'll be renamed the educational courses, approval of the PhD program in psychology was now it's PSYD, and that change was approved. And then there is a new certificate in sexuality and gender studies. So that's a new course that has been approved. It'll be part of the program and the curriculum that was approved yesterday. And so, mostly in general, they just spoke about new courses that are going to be offered and things to be looking forward to in terms of the face-to-face when it comes to fall. And so the only new information to be shared was pretty much just the information that I shared, and it just applies to the GSC staff in general. There's not a whole lot. So if anybody has any questions or anything, go ahead and let me know. I also wanted to add to Jacqueline's report. Well, not speaking on behalf of her, but I wanted to let you all know that Billy Eisen, who was the chair of the faculty senate, Kubi, who's on behalf of the graduate school, they have had the opportunity to do both the face-to-face and the virtual interactions, and they've spoken with a lot of the freshmen and everything. And so they are kind of discussing what both summer and fall will be looking at. And I believe they're going to disseminate the information that they've collected from them. It'll be on the Gallaudet Facebook account. So that's something to look at. If you have any students that you have questions or maybe want to talk about what summer and fall will look like, that's really a good opportunity for you to be able to refer them so that they can have that dialogue there. So we have the Mid-State Commission on Higher Education, which we call the MSCHE. Hello there. Wait until we can spotlight you. Hello, everyone. I can't see everyone, unfortunately. So I know that you guys are there. I'm guessing everybody's out there. It's just the thing with technology here now that we're doing everything virtual. But to summarize everything that's going on, so I have selected the staff representative. So I'm the co-chair for that committee, for that board. And so unfortunately, Pezzarosi will be doing it. She will be taking over as the co-chair now for the committee. And so once a faculty member has been selected, then we'll switch that out. We're still trying to figure out some of the last minute details that are going on with that. So we'll soon be starting to contact people and get in touch with everybody to get involved with the various groups that we have going on, with the various work groups. And I think that there's a total of 7 work groups. And now if there's anybody who's interested, or if you've heard of anybody who might want to participate, go ahead and get a hold of us, either myself or Grace. And then May, the Board of Trustees meeting, there will be a representative from MSCHE. So we'll have a representative there who will be discussing with the president and the Board of Trustees. And we'll have other stakeholders who are key elements within the groups to be able to lead and start discussions on things, on how we're going to proceed, what things will look like, who's going to be involved with everything. So beyond that, I think that's pretty much it for the time being. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and investment in this process. Why did you spotlight me? I really am enjoying all of this to understand what's going on. Like, I feel like it's a very important task that's going on, and the work that's being done is extremely critical for all of us. Thank you very much for that. So for those of you who may not know what the MSCHE means, that is really the group that proceeds with every college and university throughout the regions. They're divided into various regions. And so we're affiliated with the Middle State. So that's where we're focusing on our accreditation process and everything. So we need to know what's going on. That happens every year. So we go through the process every year. And I think we went through the MSCHE, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. Whenever President Cordano was selected to become our president, that's when we last went through it. But it's something that goes on. I think that's it's an 18 to 24 month period where they do some research, collect data and information, they hand out surveys and everything, and then they finalize the reports for probably every 18 to 24 months. So it's pretty neat to know what's going on. Okay, the strategic committee, they don't have any report today. Old business, seems like there's nothing to discuss today. So now we wanted to open the floor up. We call this a pulse check. So this is for anybody throughout the community to be able to, throw in some ideas, put in some feedback, open up dialogue, express any concerns that they may have. So anything, it's basically an open floor. So I'll turn it over to anybody out there. Feel free to chime in. You can either type through the chat box or you can go ahead and pull up your screen. Either way is fine. Joshua. Oh, the interpreter just stated that she missed Joshua's comment. So Joshua Miller was just commenting about anyone can ask any question in regards to the elections or anything like that. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Checking the chat box, it looks like Jacqueline has a question. She wants to know about, can she ask a question in terms of going back to work? Hi, everyone. So Okay, so we have a lot of questions from a variety of staff and supervisors, and I'm wondering if we can have some clarification specifically in regards to many people are reading the updates from the CDC. And so, they have the recommendations that have been changing and some of the updates and everything. And reading all of the information from the mayors and the governors and everything. So there is a COVID team, and there are the state elected officials, and then we have the federal CDC. But there's not a lot of unanimity in terms of their perspectives. So I'd really like some clarification when it comes to staffing in general. So the CDC is separate, and so we need to adhere to Gallaudet's COVID team, the announcements that have been coming out. So if anybody has any comments or thoughts in regards to that, or how to provide accurate information, I'd like to get some thoughts on that. Okay, let me see. Let me spotlight. Okay, so in answer to Jacqueline's question, so we always adhere to Gallaudet's COVID team and what the recommendations are. We follow that in the first, and then the CDC always provides other recommendations. Gallaudet has their recommendations and CDC has theirs. However, it's the COVID team who is really on the front line looking at everything and then looking at how it applies to us. So we're part of what's called Higher Education Consortium, and that's the local DC area. Like we have Howard University, American University, we have Washington University. So we have the Gallaudet University, and we all work together to ensure that we are on the same page, adhering to what the recommendations are. So that's really what the COVID team is doing. They're following what's going on with all of the university-wide entities, and then also evaluating what the CDC is releasing and how it applies to us. So, the social distancing, maintaining 6 feet of distance between everybody. Unfortunately, at the university-wide level, they're changing it to the 3 feet. So they're evaluating how it would really apply to our students, what things would work, and what really meets the needs of Gallaudet staff and students. So it's an ongoing conversation, of course, but first of all, the first thing that we adhere to is the Gallaudet COVID team. So, if anybody has any additional questions about that, everybody is more than welcome to email coronavirusteam@gallaudet.edu, and they will respond to any of your questions or refer you to the more accurate information. If what you have available at the moment doesn't feel as though it's accurate, they can guide you to the appropriate resources. Does anybody else have any additional questions? So while people are pondering what to ask, let me just throw something out there at everyone. So in the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, I've been at Gallaudet, and often we hear a lot about a lack of job opportunities, or a lack of opportunity to do lateral changes. So I'm seeing that there's actually a lot of opportunity to move up. So at entry level and at mid-level management opportunities, there are actually quite a few positions open. So I would really like to just throw that out there. If anybody's open to it or courageous enough to go ahead and put your application in, please feel free to contact us with the GSC. So we can, if anybody has the vision of becoming some sort of manager or supervisor in the future, but you feel as though you have not acquired the appropriate skills in order to manage that type of a position, we can help you find the ability to access additional resources or shadowing or other opportunities like that. We have a staff development committee who oversees all of those things, and we also want to take a look at what you need as an individual and how you can see your future. And the staff development team wants to be able to provide those opportunities for you, if it's additional training or whatever it is, because we want to help you meet your goals to move up the career ladder or move into a different position. So I would suggest taking a look at the career options that are available at the moment. And if it's something that you'd like to do, feel free to join the committee or to put in the application. So I'm not seeing anything additional at the moment, so I think we'll go ahead and move forward. Okay, so there is no business at the moment to discuss. Does anybody have any new business that they would like to propose? Going once, going twice. Okay, moving on. The next is just reminders about the elections to ensure that everybody nominates. And this is, you see here the little GIF that Joshua created. If anybody needs any information on the nomination forms, please click the link that's available here through the GIF that he created. And I'd like to give a pat on the back to Joshua for developing this wonderful GIF. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now we will go to the date for our next meeting, and that will be May 11th. That's approximately 1 month from today. And before we close the meeting, I'm calling for the last opportunity for anybody to throw out some thoughts or ideas for discussion or questions, concerns to be addressed. I know you may have noticed that there are not a lot of reports and everything, but we've just gone through spring break and everything. So Claire Center just went through their spring break as well. And so pretty much everything has been on hold. There hasn't been very many meetings during spring break, but as of last month, there wasn't a whole lot of activity, but I'm sure that that will be changing in the near future. Okay. Um, well, I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting, and we are closing it at 1:10. Um, Whatever's left, if anybody wants to come and talk with me, I'll be here for a while. Or if you just want to chat, I'll stay for a few more minutes. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and close the meeting, and I'll see you all next month.